Turn to section 3.
You will hear two students, Liam and Holly, discussing an assignment they are doing which involves studying the history of a particular British national newspaper. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 24.
So, how are you getting on with the newspaper assignment, Holly?
Yeah, pretty well. I think I've done all my research and I'm just about ready to write it up. How about you?
Yes, same as you. Must say, I found it fascinating. There were lots of things I hadn't expected.
That's true. I mean, for example, the sales figures. It's hard to imagine now just how many people bought the paper a few decades ago.
Amazing, isn't it? But then, of course, there weren't all the other news sources back in those days.
I know, but even so, the figures are incredibly high.
Way beyond what I would have thought too. And of course, it's very interesting to compare them with the sales since the arrival of the internet.
Yeah, the way they responded to that. Putting the paper online free of charge was, I guess, something that couldn't be avoided. Every other paper was doing it.
But the paper came to regret it, and probably still does, because that decision had such a negative financial impact. I find it hard to believe that they didn't at least try to charge for it online from the start.
I can see why they did it in the context of the time. One aspect that did strike me as extraordinary was finding out how influential that paper has been over the ages. It seems to have played a significant role in shaping government policy on occasions.
Yes, and social attitudes too.
I hadn't realized that a single paper could have so much influence.
Really? I think you'll find that it still does. It's always been the paper read by what they call opinion formers and people in high places, so that was what I expected to find.
What did you make of its coverage of those major historical events we looked at?
That was fascinating, to read about such huge events as they were reported at the time when they happened. It was great to read contemporary accounts of things that are now part of history.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that too. Seeing how reporters at the time described these things that we all know about.
One other thing that struck me was how interesting it was to look at the cartoons.
Yes, I think so too. I was actually shocked by some of them. I hadn't realized how satirical and critical they could be. They showed public figures in ways that I don't think you'd be allowed to today.
I don't know about that. I felt that they weren't so different in tone from a lot of the cartoons in the paper today.